This should be a good matchup. We got the Pacers and Magic.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson, happy to be here with.
Welcome, basketball fans, to a very special Veterans Day edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side are analysts Greg Anthony and Doris Burke. From the sideline, we'll have the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. We'll be hearing from him in just a bit. We'll see the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic. Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Cauley Stein is out there with Turner. Then there's Malcolm Brogdon. And then there's Antetokounmpo. And it's Murray in at the 2.
And this spot has always been Jordan's biggest drawback. He's never been able to make his free throws at even a modest rate, and teams are never afraid to put him on the line.
Both good from the line that time. In what should be an exciting game to watch, two of the most athletic teams in the league. Doris, what are the keys in this one?
Well, you'd think it would be about the pace, but to me, when there's this level of athletic ability, it's about the execution and patience on offense, and certainly you've got to sprint back in transition defense.
Nailed from three-point land.
And Murray has such a soft-looking shot, especially from deep, where he is just lights out.
Jordan kicks to Westbrook. The Pacers pull it in, and this game, the first chance they've had to see Orlando.
And they were unbeaten against this club last season. Not surprising considering where they both finished in the standings.
Well, they're more talented, more accomplished at this point, but you can't rely on that and start taking plays off. You could get surprised.
Here's Ariza. That shot missing, so Indiana will take it the other way.
And, you know, they knew what they wanted to do going in, and, boy, were they efficient and effective.
Absolutely. They were humming all game long. Every shot seemed to come so naturally to them tonight.
Now Westbrook following the three-point attempt by Jamal Murray. Ariza outside. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Millsap. Once again off the mark, Orlando.
Early on, 3 misses to open the game. Their offense right now still trying to find its way.
Antetokounmpo setting the pick for Murray. And he comes off the screen to bury the jump shot. Murray's got 5.
Miles Turner understands the angle at which he must set the screen and then uses that body to perfection.
Now here's Jordan. He really had an off game against the Trailblazers. He really never found his rhythm. Leaves it dishes to Millsap. He gets that one.
And that's what you give up when you don't fight over the screen.
Right, the effort could have been so much better. You've got to be willing to fight through that screen. There's no question about it.
Buries the long-range jumper.
Oh, a good open look, and he sprays it home from 3. And for the Magic, it's really been a musical chairs with their coaches. A lot of churning on the roster, but the pieces still have yet to gel. And honestly, it's been a mess.
Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. It's going to be on Miles Turner. And if you're running the Magic, Greg, what's the roadmap to contention?
Well, first and foremost, it's always going to have to start through the draft. I mean, you've got to be able to get core pieces there. And then you want to continue to add perimeter shooting and focus on developing your young talent based on the way the game is played today. And one thing you have to say about Russell Westbrook, he is an absolute star. I mean, the type of player you can build around and win with. Just the total package on the offensive end of the floor.
Now, here's Brogdon. In the corner, Murray with it. Orlando grabs the miss. Moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Blazers.
And the effort down the stretch, those final few minutes of regulation, you know, that's what they needed, but they were burnt out in the overtime.
You know, the mind was willing, the body was not. This is why conditioning is such a big part of the game.
The numbers Westbrook put up last season in his MVP run, Greg, just staggering.
and you figured his numbers would get a bump, but I don't think anybody could have expected this guy to average a triple-double. I mean, arguably the most impactful superstar in the league.
You know, I like how he's getting involved in the offense. He's picking his spots and making his shot attempts count.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. That one, no good. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one so far. And Russell Westbrook, a guy who has faced some criticism. Also a guy who is
It's tough, and I'm still learning every night.
Well, you have to love the competitive attitude, the desire to be great, not just for himself, but for his teammates, too.
And the emphasis on winning. That's why so many people in the league feel that it's just a matter of time before Westbrook puts those finishing touches on his game.
Well, we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game, guys, we have seen from Indiana. What do you think?
Tough defense throughout that first period, and it's really paying dividends.
Well, I think there's a level of physicality with them right now and not allowing the opponent to feel comfortable getting into their heads just a bit.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade. And ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. And so in the game for the Pacers. Brogdon out there with Murray. Then it's Turner. Then it's Willie Cauley-Stein. And it's Antetokounmpo in at the 3 slot. Now here's Brogdon following the miss by Russell Westbrook. Down it goes. Nice one there from Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo's got the opening field goal of the second quarter for Indiana. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Another miss by Westbrook.
Westbrook's cold.
Unloads from 13. They grab their own miss, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Ariza. Well, let's take a look at last year's top scorers. Russell Westbrook, number 1.
And he's not going to forget that season anytime soon. And it's safe to say neither will anyone who watched him.
Brogdon against Westbrook. Antetokounmpo kicks to Murray. And a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. Murray's got 8 points. Doris, you respect the art of the assist. You always have that's part of your DNA. In the NBA now, which guys, in your opinion, are the most fun to watch in terms of their playmaking ability?
Well, I'd be interested in your take on this, but you could make the case that it's a non-point guard who's the best pure passer in the NBA. When a guy like LeBron James is differentiating between teammates about how they want to make the catch. One guy wants the ball on the seams, one guy doesn't care, and LeBron James goes to try to fit the needs of those players. Kev, come on, how good is that?
Well, it's the best. And you know what? I think we're seeing, we talk about a positionless game. I think everybody's got that nice ability to pass the ball. I think they've even taken more to an art form where they take pride in the way they set up a teammate. The passing has never been better.
Agreed.
Great positioning on the putback.
Yeah, and their shooting really starting to pick up here in the second.
Lobs it up for Jordan, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
Now a moment to see the numbers for Brogdon. Some last season stats for him. Put up about 10 points per game, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. And when he takes over at the point, he really keeps the offense flowing.
Well, this is a guy who brings a solid skill set. Excellent ball handler, high level of playmaking, the perfect backup point.
Antetokounmpo, a beautiful reverse layup. Antetokounmpo's got 4 this quarter.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
Westbrook against Brogdon. Basket counts. 8 points for Russell Westbrook.
I like to watch Russell Westbrook mix it up inside. This guy can jump, shoot, drive it, or if you give him a close window, he'll finish that as well.
And when you watch Russell Westbrook play, he's one of the most competitive players in the NBA.
And with the way he attacks the rim and plays with just no abandon, I mean, this guy is no joke. Absolutely wills himself and his team to just do things that few others can, and relentless from the first quarter to the last whistle.
Now here's Ariza. It's rebounded by Indiana. Cauley Stein's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And here's Brogdon from the arc. And Indiana, another 3.
A much better quarter for them shooting the ball.
Westbrook against Brogdon. Takes a 3. Antetokounmpo pulls it in.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
And again, Malcolm Brogdon for 3. Brogdon's got a couple of 3-pointers in the second for the Pacers. The Magic trail by 15. Outside Westbrook. Here's Jordan. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And we are not going to halftime just yet. Officials signaling they are going to review.
And now, the 2K
The
Sports
first half of the
Halftime
books.
Show.
This is Ernie Johnson. For the Pacers, the first quarter was pretty even. At the end of the period, they held a 3-point lead. The second quarter got a lot more exciting for them as they were putting up big numbers and find themselves way out in front here at the half. And that's all we can do for now. As the second half begins, we get you back to Kevin Harlan.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but you know what? Indiana leading by 13. Paul Millsap out there with DeAndre Jordan. Then there's Kyle Korver. Then there's Russell Westbrook. And it's Ariza in a small forward. That's who's out there for Orlando.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Outside Korver. Passes it to Westbrook. Back to Korver from downtown. That shot off. So the Pacers will take it the other way.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Antetokounmpo passes to Brogdon. And a great assist by Antetokounmpo as that one goes in. Antetokounmpo's got 5 assists in the game. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Westbrook dishes to Jordan. Feeds it to Korver from past the arc. And it's Westbrook again missing. Brogdon with it. Westbrook picks him up. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on DeAndre Jordan. Of course, I didn't know this. You grew up the youngest of 8 children. In what way, if any, did that help you develop the competitive edge you've been known for throughout your terrific career?
You know, I had 4 older brothers, and we played sports my entire life. I picked up the game of basketball at 7, and if you didn't have a little toughness with 4 brothers trying to compete against them, you were going to be in some trouble. So this game has been absolutely great to me.
And I'm sure you remember the first time you picked up a basketball and dribbled a basketball.
No question about it, Kevin. 7 years old, running through some hedges like I was coming out of a locker room. It was special.
Westbrook with it. 8 points for him. And they call an illegal screen here. And to look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep. All broken down for the Magic.
And when you're riding on the upper end of the conference like these guys are, you usually have an excellent distribution of how and where you get your points. And these guys have a very effective offense, getting it done inside, outside, and from mid-range as well. And whatever the adjustments at halftime, they are looking really good right now.
Well, there's no doubt this quarter has been all about them. They've come out hot, and they're not showing any signs of letting up.
Korver kicks to Ariza. Millsap a screen. Pass to Westbrook. To halt the run, it's tipped.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
And Trevor Ariza is going to pick up a foul here. That is his first foul of the game. And here is Antetokounmpo. 6 points for him. 2 minutes into the second half of play now. And Jordan sends it back.
And the one thing we know about DeAndre, he's a presence at both ends of the floor. He protects the rim on D just as much as he punishes it at the offensive end.
Well, last season, the Pacers had hoped to push the pace a bit more, right? The ever-popular pace and space offense. Not sure they had as much success as they had hoped for.
Clock at 6. Turner with the screen. Murray for 3. And out of bounds as the Magic will gain possession. Now that we have a chance, let's go to the 2K leaderboard and reveal last season's top shot blockers. Third is Miles Turner.
And shot blocking is the element of the game that I think he cares about the most. That's where he puts in that effort and energy.
Shot from 12. Jordan can't get it to go. And McMillan's teams in Portland had been slow it down. Half-court teams not known for pushing that tempo.
No, but with the roster he has for this group, a lot of quickness and slashing ability, they must push the tempo, right? Get more easy buckets in transition.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And when you talk about just a natural basketball player, I think you got to envision a guy like Paul Millsap. He just does it all. He's got the skill level and versatility at that power forward position. And in this league today, you have to be able to impact the game the way he does.
And you look at all the different things that Paul Millsap does for you on the court, Greg. Don't forget about the defensive end of the floor, too.
Yeah, great point. And all defense selection, one of the great big men in league history in terms of getting steals. Just unbelievable hands. And you know what? He epitomizes consistency when you look at the course of his career.
So he gets them both.
You know, Antetokounmpo is just incredibly talented, a long, lanky, athletic powerhouse of a player.
Westbrook kicks to Millsap. And it's sent back by Turner. Here's Brogdon. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Brogdon's got 18 points.
Listen, he's been a key component of their offense tonight. Efficient and effective. Westbrook passes to Jordan.
There's a screen on the wing, Korver. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan.
Well, this is Korver's game, right? A phenomenal catch-and-shoot player. You know he's ready to fire on the catch.
Outside, Antetokounmpo. Lays it up and banks it in. 10 points for him.
And how about the initiative there from Antetokounmpo? Excellent at seeing lanes to the basket and then just taking advantage.
And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. It's the Pacers as they end the third quarter with a massive 16-5 run. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the fourth quarter next. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Well, Orlando shooting 32% overall right now, not one of their better showings. And a look at the 5 for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. Antetokounmpo out there with Miles Turner. Then there's Murray, and it's Brogdon in at the point. Shot clock at 6. Brogdon against Westbrook. Here's Jordan. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. Jordan's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for the Magic. Or something that's become popular, debating whether a player is a star or a superstar. to you, what's the major difference between those two thoughts?
To me, the biggest difference between star and superstar are those guys who are willing to absorb the label on a night-by-night basis and a moment-by-moment basis. You can't disappear when the stakes get high. You can't disappear on a February night in the middle of the grind pre-All-Star break. Greatness requires you to come with it every single night.
And they don't care about the conversation about them. They're bulletproof in some ways, very thick-skinned.
Very Kobe-like attribute you just referenced.
Very good comparison. Here's Ariza. Pacers with the rebound.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
They set the pick. Brogdon kicks to Murray. Turner with the screen. Here's Murray. It's Antetokounmpo on the wing. Over Millsap. Antetokounmpo can't get that one to fall. Orlando, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. Now Westbrook. Millsap left side. Shoots over Turner. Here's Jordan. Lays it up and banks it in. Jordan's got 4 points now in the quarter.
Yeah, and it's the long arms of Jordan, staying active on the boards for these high percentage putbacks.
And the pass to Turner. Over Millsap. And once again off the mark by Indiana.
Well, the defense harassing him every step of the way makes that a really tough look.
Westbrook kicks to Ariza. He's off on that one. Pacers leading by 20.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Indiana.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3. Out of bounds, magic ball as Orlando keeps possession.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection.
Is that J.R. Smith?
Right. I mean, that's solid defense. At the very least, you like seeing them muck it up and make things difficult.
Here's what Orlando's going with right now. Scal
They're up 20 on a
checked in
blowout
for
occurred.
Millsap. Kyle Anderson comes in for Trevor Ariza. Wesley Matthews checked in for Kyle Korver. And it's Malcolm Delaney in for Russell Westbrook. Greg, it's been a long rebuild for the Magic, but they really feel they've got a plan in place.
Well, you've heard the front office talking that they're going to win at least one championship by the year 2030. And I got to say, that's an interesting quote, to say the least. I mean, I have heard of a 5-year plan, but a 13-year plan, I guess you'd call that building for the long term.
You know, if you guys remember a couple seasons back, the Pacers had one of the top 3 defenses in the league. Last season, it all fell apart.
Doris, what happened to that Pacers defense?
Well, I think, one, you have to look at who they lost. George Hill and Jan Mahimi were both good players on the defensive end. And then you look to the switch in philosophy, from dropping their bigs to making them more switching. Sometimes it can take a team a while to adjust.
And Lure drops them both.
Well, you think back to Nate McMillan's history, right? An assistant coach with the Pacers for 3 years. They made the unexpected decision to look for a new head coach, and in 2016, they promoted him to that role.
Outside, Jones. Now the dish to Smith. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
Westbrook with 24, DeAndre with 24 and 27, 12, 9, 9. Trevor Ariza with the Kevin Love stat line. Brogdon dropped 54 with 9 assists. Murray and Alphabet Soup both with 30. Giannis had a triple-double. Oh, man. This team is stacked. Oh, that's brutal. There's really not much you could do against this team. Over 4 from three-point land. Wow. 18 points in the paint. 17 boards, defensive boards. Wow. Biggest lead of 24. That's brutal.